Hello friends, Anderson here with another quick update and a call for help. Your help specifically, your expertise, your je ne sais quoi. But first, salient fact, Kynan will be back next week. He's taking the week off because I didn't get the time to record. And this segues nicely into the topic of future plans, which is based on my assumption that Kynan chapter is going to run for another 3 episodes, maybe 4, before we resolve all this tangled web we've woven, while at the same time we'll also be finished building our world of Aina and the city of Coleraine that we're doing on Fridays right now, which means that around that time, about a month from now, very likely the Scarlet Hero series will be kicking off, and it will very likely be moving to the Friday upload slot because that is a pretty successful one. I have some ideas what I do to bridge the gap because I'd like to keep it at 2 uploads a week. I have Disciples of Bone and Shadow, which I could show off in sort of a mini-series kind of way. And I also have an idea for the thing that I need your help with, which is sort of a zero prep, build everything on the fly, no world building, no nothing. We just go in with a bunch of supplements like this 1977 Bestiary encounter book, which I also think I will use for the Scarlet Hero series because it's like a D1000 table for encounters in a city. And the thing that I would like your input on is, do you know of any suitable systems for zero preparation solo play that ideally scales well with generic D20 supplements, so old D&D stuff, old AD&D stuff. Now, I have already been pointed towards Knave, which I had a look at and it blew me away. It's tying into the mention of maze rats that I was pointed at for our Worlds Without Number series. Same author, incidentally somebody whose YouTube channel I follow. I do believe the name is Ben Milton. I can't actually find it anywhere on here. Oh yeah, it's up here. Ben Milton of the Questing Beast YouTube channel, which is showing off all sorts of supplements. Definitely worth a watch. Also have this retro clone of AD&D first edition. I have another couple on the way. I've also got my eyes set on something called, I actually need to wind up for this name, Neoclassical Geek Renaissance, I think. It's a mouthful. Sounds very, very good. Had a look at the walkthrough on the Questing Beast channel, incidentally, and it's got an interesting writing style, but very cool concepts, specifically in terms of civilization versus the untamed mana and all this kind of thing. That really caught my attention, so that's an option. But I put it to you as well, if you know of any obscure, relatively lean ability base with some skill checks in the mix, but not too many, and a very easy to handle combat system that, like I said, ideally segues very nicely with these old school monster encounters, let me know. I'm all ears. I would like to test drive a few things, and that is probably then also what is going to occupy the Tuesday slot for the time that Scarlet Heroes will be running on a Friday, and Kynan will be taking a bit of a break. Not a hugely long break, but I do want to give some downtime to the Ironsworn series because I've been doing it for well over half a year now, and I do like to mix it up a little bit. Never fear, I will finish that story. It's not like I'm gonna abandon that series, but it'll take a break of at least a couple of weeks once the chapter is finished. Not now, once the chapter 2 is finished. Which could easily be like 5 years from now if I keep rolling like this, but let's just be optimistic and say it'll be 3 to 4 episodes. Things that are drawing up on the horizon and things that have disappeared again a little bit, I will also like to touch upon. Starforged is something that I am now keenly interested in. I was a bit lukewarm on the whole sci-fi successor of Ironsworn because sci-fi has never really been my thing. I still backed the Kickstarter, and I'm glad I did, because as soon as I saw the art of Josh Meehan floating around my Twitter feed, I was extremely hooked on wanting to do something with this kind of atmosphere, with this kind of style of sci-fi. So I would say expect some Starforged once it's out. I do like to play with the physical copy, so I'll be waiting for that one. And I'm also Strider mode, the One Ring right behind me, that is going to have to happen. I don't know when though, so there's a lot of, you know, things to juggle. But as they say, if you want to be a juggler, you have to have balls. Oh god. So, things that are likely going to happen, one shot of Disciple of Bone and Shadow, some kind of zero prep old school randomly generated thing that's not really a hex crawl, but sort of like a hex crawl. I do like my story in my game, so I'm definitely not going to abandon that. I also have a very harebrained idea of running a Dungeon Crawl Classics funnel with a bunch of nobody characters and a huge mortality rate, while the Benny Hill theme's probably playing for the entirety of the episode in the background, because it sounds insane. And I have a few other things on the way, like Osric, like Old School Essentials. Just back the Kickstarter of that one, so that'll be like 3 to 4 months away. And probably a few more things. I also have a world building book in the lead up by the same author that does all this wonderful thing here, Kent David Kelly. I want to look at what that can do, not to necessarily build another world, but just to see how I can cannibalize it for this sort of zero prep on the fly thing, if at all. But yeah, bit rambly, sorry, I don't have concrete plans, I just have a lot of things I want to get to and want to get out. And I feel I've barely scratched the surface of what can be done with like solo role-playing, which is always gonna be the focus here. So if you have ideas of systems, of random generating table books, of anything that kind of goes into the spirit of all of this, throwing a few dice in the air and telling a story with them, let me know. And aside from that, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.